Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ivy Podcast.
Woo!
My name is Kayla Jenkins.
My name is Jaden Watson.
My name is Jordan Bonds.
My name is Alexandria Musgrave.
My name is Alexis Agarat.
And today we are here to discuss how financial awareness impacts young adults' experiences when dealing with money. So before we get started, I wanted to ask y'all a question. What do you find yourself spending money the most on?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I probably, and this isn't a healthy habit, but I spend the most money on food, unfortunately. I don't like cooking.
Cooking is amazing, but I get it. Sometimes we can be kind of busy with our jobs or our internships during the day. You come home, you're tired.
Yeah.
For me, I would say getting my nails done and just self-care in general.
For myself personally, I would say retail therapy. Anytime I'm stressed, I will sit in bed at night and order something offline.
I'm going to agree with Alex. I think the most money that I spend stuff on is food, to be honest with you.
I'm kind of the same. I already mentioned. I get home, it's late, I'm tired. I'm just okay, let me get me some Chipotle or Chick-fil-A, something call it a day.
But that also includes grocery shopping. I'll just be putting stuff in my cart because I don't make a list, and then all of a sudden it's the bill. Whoa, okay.
Sometimes you gotta download certain apps that have coupons and stuff, so you can be, hey, you get there, it takes off this amount of money. You just gotta know.
It's funny because I remember growing up, my mom would always have coupons for things, and I would get annoyed because I'm like, girl, we got a place to go. Why is it taking you so long? But saving money is so important to me now.
I'm actually glad you said that, Alex, because it kind of gets into our first topic is how do you feel about your parents having access to your financial information?
I mean, personally for me, I don't mind it. It's taught me actually a lot of financial awareness. I know growing up, my parents were able to put a lock on my savings account. So anytime I put money in there, I would not be able to access that money. But as I got older, now I'm able to access that money, and I kind of have to balance it between keeping my money in my savings account and leaving it there.
So they kind of give you a little limit on there,
kind
of disciplining you a little bit.
That's smart.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with Jaden. I feel like I don't really mind having my parents on my bank account just so they can make sure that everything's I'm not spending too much and too little time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just saving money, I feel like they would help me with that.
I would honestly have to agree with both Jordan and Jaden, only because of the simple fact that I don't really know much about finances. So I just really depend on my mom's judgment and what she says. I know she's not gonna take money out of my account or do anything that's grimy. So I truly just trust her.
It all depends on the parent, because sometimes your parent, they possibly need that money, and it's kind of heartbreaking when it's Mom, what happened to $200 that was just in my account? Well, baby, I had to get some grocery shopping. You live in this house, right? I'm looking wait, Mom, let me know. It's one thing being generous with hey, you can have this, it's fine, but at least let me know, let me understand what's going on. And I don't know if y'all have this, but I have a nosy daddy. And my dad is Alexis, what you was doing the other day? I seen you was at XYZ. Because he seen how much I spend at a certain place. I'm looking wait, get out my business, daddy. Get out my business. So it's just I understand you're checking up on me, but it's it's the privacy aspect. That's what I really wanted to highlight with this.
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest, honestly, getting a Cash App card because the first one is free if you order it, and it just kind of, helps you have your own sense of privacy and, buying not whatever you want, but, just buying things that you need and that you want, and...
No, it's okay. It's okay. Having a Cash App card, my mom is more comfortable with online purchasing, buying online and stuff, because it's you don't want to link your actual good card with something as simple as Shein or something on Amazon, because a lot of people get scammed sometimes. It depends on where you're spending this money at. Sometimes it can be online shopping, on Amazon or something, or a false, I don't know, website that's trying to sell I don't know, Gucci or something like that. You know, some websites,
Yeah,
some
like
websites
something
be like,
fake.
I got this for like a discounted price or something like that.
Right. Or even when it comes to like traveling out of the country and stuff, I know for me personally, I don't use my debit card or credit card when I travel. I either always take out cash or I use my Cash App card.
I actually have a different experience. I don't have a Cash App card, so I normally just rely on my debit card, which I actually use at the USF Credit Union because I don't have to worry about other things. I forget, but my mom signed me up my freshman year, and she said there were some good benefits to having it. But yeah, I just normally rely on my debit card.
I mean, me too, to be honest with you. I don't have a Cash App card yet. I just, honestly, I've been too lazy to even, like, look into it, which is, like, a lot of things. But I also use my debit card a lot because that is, like, the sole thing that I use. I don't really use cash anymore, and I don't have a credit card either, which is something that I want to start getting into and start building credit, but it's just been, like, the Cash App card. I just haven't actually gotten into it, and then it's another thing with, like, my parents entrusting me and being able to, like, you know, pay off the credit card. But, like, even though I don't have one right now, at least, like, I would at least like for them to teach me, like, what does it mean to have credit, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Kayla, because credit is not something that I really learn about or like talk about much, and so I feel like I just really want to learn what it means to have credit and like how to upkeep it and not have bad credit, because that's like a fear of mine, honestly.
A big one.
But yeah, just learning how to maintain your credit, I guess, and like keep it.
I mean, personally for me, I just got a credit card, and I walked through it with my parents. It's actually pretty simple, and it's a lot more simple than I thought it would be. I've always been scared. Like, every time somebody brings up a credit card, I'm like, no, because that's how it's pretty much, like, was taught to me. Like, no, you don't want a credit card. Like, don't get one. But I finally got one, and pretty much I just applied, and then within, like, that next 2 days of the week I applied, I was approved for a certain amount, and I just make, like, small payments on it, like, little things, like, either, like, gas every, like, so often, or, like, I'll put, like, maybe, like, a bigger purchase on it if I go get something, like, I know I put my cap and gown on it, and then I'll pay it off. But, yeah, that was my first purchase, so, yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So do you pay it off at the end of, like, every month, and do you have to pay it off in full?
So, you want to pay it off in full, because if not, then your interest is going to increase. However, so I know particularly for me, they send me an email. So I have the app, and I can see the day that my purchase is due. So you just keep up with the email, or they said to get the app, I can see when it's due. I can make small payments on it. Like, when I get paid a certain amount, if I know I have a credit card statement due, I'll put a little bit on it, and then I'll pay the next pay period a little bit on it.
Okay.
I was gonna say I actually have a credit card, but it's connected to my mom's account, and mine is strictly for emergencies. I don't really trust myself with credit sometimes just because I don't know a lot about it. But I like how I'm connected to her account because when she pays it off on time, it helps build my credit for the future, and I know it's so important.
It is honestly important. Like, I know after college, we're all looking for, like, our big old nice houses or, like, personal apartments and stuff.
Honestly.
And it's like, you need to have your credit because they're going to look at you like, are you responsible enough to get this, like, checked off? Because a lot of places, they won't approve you to get your dream apartment if you don't have certain things as your credit in order of, like, having your financial stability, kind of.
And it's a liability because we are so young. So when they see that we have a low credit, they don't really trust us to do that. So I think it's really important for us to get started at a young age to build our credit, so we're able to move forward and do better things at an earlier age.
What age range would you think is best? Because I know some kids, you hear it in, like, Lifetime movies where they're getting it at, like, high school or something like that, or even underneath that, and then you just hear a whole bunch of bad experiences with that. So
honestly, I wouldn't say an age. It just comes with maturity, I want to believe. Because some people might be ready for it at 18, while others might not be ready until they graduate, or they're like 24 years old in grad school. I think it's a situational thing, and it just depends on if you're ready financially and that you are aware.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Alex, especially nowadays, like, a lot of kids financially are in different places. Like, I know, for instance, like, my cousins, they do a lot of finances on their own, so they've taught themselves how a credit card works. Like, whereas me, I'm completely lost. I have no idea. I'm learning as the day goes by, so it definitely depends on the person, the individual.
I wanted to mention about spending more than you have, because you kind of talked about, like, it depends on the individual. And personally, for me, I will say I'm guilty of it. Like, of course, like, I see the amount that I have in, like, my banking account, but, like, if I see that Telfeezy and it's like, or if I see, like, food, like, knowing that I just went grocery shopping, I have food that I can make at the house, I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A, like, regardless, like, knowing that, like, I should be spending better. And I've already tried making, like, a budget sheet. Like, I've already tried doing, like, the monthly things, like, whenever I get, like, you know, paid and all that stuff. But does anyone know?
No, that's honestly me. Like, if I have $7 in my account and my Chick-fil-A order is $6.88, I'ma still get it. But even though that's, like, a bad decision, but I mean,
I really wanted to highlight that materialistic thing, because, like, you're having people, oh, you have to wear X, Y, Z, and it's pretty bad because it all goes back to, like, dealing with people. Say for instance, you're in school, right? You remember way back when you had to make sure you had the cleanest Converse shoes,
Yeah.
and the fresh, like, bow ties and stuff like this, like, just something like that. Because it's more of, like, just judgment that you get from society if you're not meeting into that materialistic thing.
right?
I feel like that kind of plays on with, because I didn't go to a private school where I had to wear, like, uniform, like, clothes. Like,
Yeah.
you were free to express yourself however you wanted to. So every day it was either Justice, Forever 21. Like, I was going to step every day, like, as I should. Like,
No,
I had
definitely.
to.
I feel like when I was younger, I was definitely a material girl. I think I've grown out of it just a tad because
Okay.
money a little tight. I'm not gonna lie. It can get a little rough when you're paying your own rent and you're paying your own bills. But I am guilty from every now and then spending money when I know I should not. And
So
I should
you
be putting
realize-
I should definitely be putting
Yeah.
that money in my savings account. But same as Jordan, I'm gonna stop by Chick-fil-A. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sometimes you have to treat yourself and reward yourself.
I
but
mean,
in moderation.
don't
true.
get me wrong. It's always important to have savings in a savings account because you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you, hey, Chick-fil-A got my money. I don't know.
And they make it so much easier with the app and, like, earning points. It's like, you know, I guess it's kind of like a scam because, like...
Yeah, I feel like brand loyalty is such a real thing because they get you with those deals, and it's not just food companies, but
Yeah.
it's clothing companies, every company, to be honest.
And they have their own credit cards too that you can apply
Yeah,
for.
they do.
They literally get you at the register. I know when I used to work at retail, so I used to wait till the people, they have big purchase, you know, they bring up all their clothes, and I'm like, I can save you 20% off today. And then I leave out that it's a store credit card, but I'm promoting it, and, you know, and then obviously they know they're signing up for a store credit card, but all they hear is a 20% off, and there they go, just like that, they got a store credit card.
Especially around, like, holiday seasons. Because I used to work at Victoria's Secret, and we used to get them. We used to be like, oh, it's a free robe, a free blanket today. If you sign up, you get 20% off. Not realizing, hey, you need to go back and
That's a
pay
bill.
it in cash too.
Yeah.
Not, you can't just swipe your card.
In
You have
cash?
to you have to actually come back into the store and pay in cash with the amount that you had on that credit
I
card.
did
I
not
did
know
not know that either.
Yeah. So you need to know what you're signing up for before you do it.
I know that's right, Alex.
Please.
Not shame.
Okay, with that being said, what is society's overall perception on money?
This is a good question, honestly, because I feel like there's a lot of, like, I wouldn't say false perceptions, but just, like, a lot of things that are just not realistic. Like, especially in terms of social media, there's a lot of things that you just it's not like you mean to, but you compare yourself to these people that you, like, look up to, and it's hard to, like, realize that you are in college, you're a college student, and you're not going to have your life together at the age of 21.
Yeah.
So,
Or that their life isn't really what it's showing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people, they're on Instagram, they have Gucci and Louis, and you never actually know their financial circumstances.
I thought about that. It was like like, you know, like the rapper girlfriends, like they have their own, like, you know, businesses, like they're making money. Today I realized that like they're like 22 and 23, and I was just like, for a second I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But then I had to realize, I was just like, everyone has like their own path. There's like, you know, everyone takes their different, you know, route when it comes to making money. Unfortunately, I don't have a rapper or basketball or NBA player, you know, but that's good for them, but it's not for me. And I feel like, honestly, overall with social media, it is like a facade. Like, that's really what it's supposed to be for. Like, it's supposed to show everyone else, like, you know, what they're not supposed to see, basically. And that pertains to money, because I see blue strips on $100 bills all the time.
Yeah.
People fanning out money on their arms and stuff. And I feel like it's actually become like, if I can say, like a trend, or like almost like a culture, to where it's like you have to like be posted up in front of a car, or you have to like show like your whole entire like bags that you got, like your Burberry bags, your Louis bags, like, and post it, make it a thing, like try to put some aesthetics in there, do whatever. Like, it's like a real thing. It's honestly like, if you really sit back and like think about it, it's kind of like damaging to our society in terms of like how we think about money and like prioritizing money.
It is. Like, I don't know if y'all seen this. It's this one girl. She kind of photoshops. Yeah, she photoshops Jordans on her, and like the car behind. It's kind of like, no,
It's never that easy.
it was kind of concerning, because it's like, you really, like, is that what you want to be viewed as, a person that's your main focus? No, the thing wasn't real. Like, it was poorly done. It was kind of like a laughing stock, because it's like she was trying so hard to fit into that societal need of like being this particular person. Like, she ended up as a joke.
Yeah, I think social media in general is not very authentic. People are constantly putting their best foot forward. And just hearing that story, first of all, never even heard of that. But it's kind of sad that people feel that pressure to be someone they're not.
Yeah. I definitely think that when people say the phrase money can't buy happiness, I think in today's society, that is not the truth. Like, I know when I'm like on a budget, I'm like all frustrated and flustered. I'm like, oh, I can't do this, can't do that. When I have money, I'm like not thinking about anything, just sweating, just going on my life every day. So yeah, I definitely think that that phrase,
To an extent, I agree.
Yeah, because I feel like, of course, like, money makes you happy, but I feel like for those people, whenever they do have the money, I feel like it ends up, like, realizing that they're not happy with it, like, how they truly thought they were. Like, the goal is to make money. And I feel like that's the other thing about, like, society in general. Like, we're all taught to, like, be ashamed to say, like, oh, yeah, no, like, I don't have this money, like, right now. Like, and you're going to do anything you can to make sure, like, you know, everyone else thinks that you have it like that. So...
Yeah, I think with the money can't buy you happiness statement, when you think about it on a perspective of how people can work so much that they can neglect their own relationships and the finer things in life,
That's
true.
it can ruin a lot of important things in that person's life.
Yeah. I see that a lot in like Lifetime movies or like BET movies. They have the dad working so much and they don't come home to have relationships with their kids,
Right.
and they're wondering why, like, oh, dad wasn't really in my life because dad was too busy trying to meet up to that need of providing for his family.
Right.
Not to say like his I would say like motivation is not there to provide for them, but it's just like, hey, dad, sometimes I need you home to be here for my cheerleading match or something like
And
that.
there's a balance. You really have to learn how to make sure you have your priorities in order, where you gotta make sure you're making money for your family, or, well, I mean, we're young, but you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself financially, but also not neglecting your other responsibilities and what you want in life, or what you care about in life.
As someone who has tried working while being in, a full-time student, I couldn't be like that workaholic. Like, everyone wants to like make money, but for me, I could not handle being in orgs, working and doing school with like, performing the best that I could possibly do. So like that was like a talk I had to kind of have with like my parents, like trying to figure out how I could do that, because working, like if you think about it, you're working like almost 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And those 8 hours, like, those are, like, vital, especially, like, for me personally, like, as a science major, I have a science-based major, like, I need to be studying 24/7. And then also, like, not even with, like, orgs or school, sometimes you just need that time for yourself. And I realized that while I was working, I was neglecting the orgs that, like, you know, I committed to. I was neglecting, like, my friends because I didn't have time for them. So I feel like even, like, on a college level, that kind of applies. Like, of course, like, I'm not saying, like, no one work, you know, work, but, like, if it doesn't work for you, like, try to, like, find a balance if you can.
Yeah.
So even though we are college students, how do y'all plan, or have y'all thought about planning how to produce your own generational wealth? Like, for me personally, mine is more so based off of, like, my outline that I've already kind of made for my life. I know it's not going to be set in stone, but for me, I want to, of course, like, continue with going on a vet school and, you know, do my years, do my times in vet school, but also, like, you know, working on the side, possibly at, like, a clinic or wherever I can. And then after that, after getting my specialty, hopefully, you know, making or building my own clinic and having, like, I don't want to share my ideas, but having, like, a clinic, a doggy daycare, and, like a PetSmart, almost, like, kind of like a collaborative PetSmart, but, like, Kayla's PetSmart, you know? Like a black-owned PetSmart. And then hopefully my children, like, I'm not going to force them to go into veterinary medicine, but it's something that they can have that will constantly be producing income and hopefully, like, you know, reach other cities, other areas, and hopefully other states. But that's my personal plan on, like, how I want to, you know, build my generational wealth for those that come after me.
Yeah, personally for me, I just go off, like, seeing things that my dad have taught me and stuff. So, like, for me, I would just want to have multiple means of income for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm a health major, so I could vision myself going to nursing school, and on the side I can do, like, real estate or something like that just to keep my income coming, and then eventually pass that on to my kids if I have any.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing as well. Just watching my parents and what they do. They're big savers, so I would just save a lot of money, probably 75%, and then the rest can be play money or vacation money of whatever I do. And then that way, whenever I grow up, my kids can always have money set aside for them for emergencies or whatever they choose to spend it on with their families.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that, honestly, for you. But personally, I think I'm still kind of navigating how I'm going to build my economic legacy. It took me a while to figure out my major, let alone what I want to do in life and how I'll do that financially. But I will say my mom and my grandparents definitely inspired me by the way they set me up, and I just want to continue to build on their legacy.
Right.
So while I'm still figuring it out, I know I'm going to be okay in the end.
You will.
Yeah, you will manifest that. Like,
Right.
have good energy out there in the world. I know a lot of you were mentioning you're getting it from your parents or just people that are there for you. Me, I'm gonna be a teacher, so I'm interacting with a whole bunch of kids during the time, and I'm just gonna educate them on what needs to be done. So, say for instance, starting up early or just having conversations like this is very beneficial. Because sometimes you don't have that particular background to help you out or assist you in that way.
Right.
And I know I had this advisor back in high school where she told me about any financial opportunities in regards to, like, a whole bunch of scholarships. Even if it's the smallest thing, she was like, go, do it. So just being encouraging to them and just educating them in that sense is completely fine. So that's how I want to continue with my generational wealth.
I like that. I like that.
I think starting them, sooner the better. Like, I've had a savings account since I was 9 years old. We would literally go, like, probably once a year with my dad, my brother, and I would go to the bank after saving, like, little coins that go.
That is so
We
cute.
have a little change thing, and we'd think it was like, oh my god, $100, and we would split it into our savings account. And every year we did that. But I definitely think teaching your kids or teaching the youth, as soon as you can, is the most beneficial.
I think that is actually very, very vital because I feel like I feel like a lot of people have always mentioned, I wish I learned about credit in school. I wish I learned about scholarships in school. And even though that's not, like, in the curriculum, because I know, like, y'all have a set thing that you have to talk about. Every now and then, like, you know, get off topic and talk about, you know, the things that they don't actually teach us that we need to honestly know about.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Honestly, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the conversations we had today were really good. I think, I feel like we had some good educational things. We talked about personal experiences, and I'm happy about that.
Financial awareness.
Woohoo!
Well, with that being said, we just want to thank everyone for tuning into our Ivy podcast. Please be sure to stay tuned on our Instagram and Twitter because we will be posting future events there, and be on the lookout.
And stay tuned for AKA Week.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.